All right, here we go. We have our first example, lick number 14, the release bend. And this is in the tune Home Sweet Chicago off of Jimmy's second studio album, All for Business. Now he's jamming. This is just a jam, and he's playing with Otis Rush. I forget the time on this, like what time in the song, but if you listen closely, at some point Jimmy comes up with this. He goes, all right, let me try that again. Let me try it again. It's pretty tough to remember. The longer the line is, it's hard to remember the timing of it all. Playing it a cappella, but all right, here we go. Okay, all right, so that's pretty good, and you can obviously see where these bends are coming into play. And I'll tell you, this is tough. It's tough to recreate. For one, I don't have a mastery of this. This is kind of a new technique I'm trying to clean up myself, but I'm trying to best. I think you're getting the idea, hopefully. Okay, so what he does is he starts off in this one. Okay, that's flat 7 to root, flat 7, up high. Then he does this. Heard that before. 4th side and the 5th, and then you grab the flat 7. And then the root. Then you play flat 7, 5th, 4th, minor 3rd. Let's see. And then you go back to the 4th. 4th, minor 3rd, root, minor 3rd. Okay, it's setting up our release bend. Okay, so he goes. So you get it up there. Just think of it as it so far is nothing new. Right? 4th bend to 5th, right? Now he plays 2. He's holding it. 2 of them. After you get there, you hit 2 more. Now you do a half step. Then a 4th, like your total release. You're on the 4th. Can you hear that? Should go like this. Get that in your ear and then you go. Then you end like we always do, minor 3rd with 2 roots at the end. So again. See that? Now we go. Okay, wait, I gotta getting ahead of myself. So what we do? Flat 7 to root, minor 3rd, minor 3rd, minor 3rd, root. Then you do flat 7, root, root, minor 3rd, 4th, bend to 5th. And now we start a similar one, but the violent shake one where we're going. Okay, so let's back up and go from the beginning. We go. Let's try it again. Then you start 2, 3. Okay, you hit 3. After you get there, you're holding it. You're coming off of this. So there's 2 roots there. Flat 7 root, root, minor 3rd, 4th bent to the 5th. Flat 7 root, root, minor 3rd, 4th, 4th bent up to the thing, up to the 5th. So now you start your violent, your violent vibrato on that 5th as you hold in that bend. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, there's 3 of them. Then you drop it down to the 4th 3 violent. Okay, so you got 3 bent up to the 5th, and then you come down with. I'll tell you what. Not used to doing this. It's like getting the tendons, the muscles. Ooh, man, getting a little cramp. Yeah, you need control. After a while, I'm sure, just like the other licks, you start to just develop the muscle memory, the finger strength, and you'd be able to do it like nothing. I think because I'm overloading it, I'm doing the same thing over and over. So let me just take a second here as my numb fingers come back. All right, here we go. So this bend that we're working on, you bend it up, and then you do 3 violent ones. Right? Now you drop into the 4th, and you got 3 of those. So you're going. And then you go back up, and you do 4. I mean, it doesn't, there's no concrete rules to this, but this is what Jimmy did. What Jimmy did, and we can change it up, but let's get it down the way he did it, right? So he goes 3. Okay, so then the second time when you come down to the 4th, you only do 2, and then you go back up, and now you hit this flat 7 with the pinky. You grab it and hit them both. Okay, so let's see if I could get that. Okay, hold on here. So we go. Okay, so you're only catching that pinky with the flat 7. You're throwing that in at the end. You get up there, then you add it in. And this is staying still, but you're still shaking with the other 3 fingers. You're still shaking that 5th a little bit to give it some vibrato, and you get this aggressive line here, right? Whoo, boy, I'll tell you. I got to do some exercises with this hand. I got to tell you, I was trying to practice this for about an hour before I figured to hit record, So I really gave a workout. I haven't been playing for the last week, so I'm already. As you get older, if you don't do something, you start losing it right away. So you got to do a little bit every day. But anyway, okay, so we got. And then you do, now it's like the melody to Sweet Home Chicago. He goes sort of like this. Okay, so what he's doing is he goes flat 7 root to minor third, back to the root. Then he goes flat 7 root, minor third, minor third, minor third, root, 5th, flat 7, 5th, flat 7, root, minor third. Right, so he goes. Okay, yeah, that's just a minor third to root first. Again. And that's why we love the blues, right? You don't have to be complicated, and you just get a nice melody going. So he's echoing the melody in the tune Sweet Home Chicago. But amazing stuff. I'll tell you, you perfect this idea again, and you don't have to do it often. Jimmy, I told you this section's very small, okay? And the section's small. He doesn't do this often. Very rarely does he do a release bend or this violent shaking bend. And there's only a handful of examples, and I'm talking across all his albums. There's only a couple of times he did this, but it's so cool. And I've heard it done by, I mentioned Peter Green in the studio cut of Sugar Mama. He does it. That's a great example. And many of the greats do this violent shaking, 4th to 5th, releasing, down to the 4th, 5th bent up, you know what I'm saying, right? Let's do it in another key. Maybe it'll help my fingers a little. You know what, too? Hearing it up high, it sparked. You know who did this a lot? Freddie King. Freddie King did it a lot up here. Whoa, wait. Gotta watch. It slipped. It slipped. I'll tell you, I gotta get these calluses back. Look at this. Look, where's that camera? Can you see the injury right there? Look at that. They're gonna have to call the medic, and my callus ripped right off. That's what happens when you haven't played in a while. But yeah, that string, open string, it slipped right off of my finger. Like that. That's a big no-no. But hey, what are you gonna do? It happens, right? At least we weren't recording the album right now, or the big show on TV. But Freddie King, folks. But anyway, okay. I gotta, we'll leave you with this. I'll leave you with this. I know this one's getting long. But, my point is the greats used this idea, and Jimmy used it a handful of times, but it's worth knowing, because you gotta admit, it stands out, it really stands out. And, Peter Green does it on Sugar Mama, the studio cut. I know he does it well on that. Good example. And Freddie King, Up High, he does it a lot, especially on those albums in the 70s, the Burglar album is a great one. If you haven't heard that, check out Freddie King, Burglar. That's a great album. And he plays, what I wanted to just add at the end is the way Jimmy plays, in the way Freddie King plays in the 70s. Okay, the Burglar album in particular, I love that album. It's real funky. It's got loud booming bass. And the way Freddie plays, it will complement exactly what we're learning with Jimmy Dawkins. It's different, but it's gonna go like this when it comes to style. It developing the style. You're not just pulling one guy and copying him. You're taking what he does that you like, and then you're gonna mesh it with someone else like Freddie King. And you see Jimmy's albums. He cut the first studio album in, I think, '69. And then he cut All for Business, where this tune's from, Sweet Home Chicago. That was, I think, 70, 71. Okay? And then his third album didn't come out until 75. And by then he had his own band. And that band was great. And the personnel on that, I can't go. I don't know if I pronounce it right, but I know you got Jimmy Johnson on rhythm guitar. Now, I don't know if his name is Tyrone Centuri on drums. I don't know if I pronounced that right. And then Sylvester Boynes on bass. Forgive me because I never heard the names pronounced. But that band is famous for backing Otis Rush in Live in Japan album, which is one of the greatest blues albums of all time. And Otis Rush, hands down, that album I think is his best. The tones and Jimmy's band, his guys went on the tour and were like the house band. They played for everyone on that tour. So you got Otis Rush jamming with Jimmy's band. And I mean, it's just, you can't get any better. You got to hear the tone. Live in Japan, Otis Rush. I think the title of the album is actually So Many Roads, but it's Live in Japan. And the tone on, oh man, it just melts. It melts. It sounds so great. But that album is in the 70s. Freddie King, that was like around, I know that band that Jimmy cut, Blister String, that I'm talking about, his third studio album. That is, I think, 75. And I think at the same time, that 75 is when that So Many Roads, Live in Japan, Otis Rush album came out with Jimmy's band back in Otis Rush. 75, 76, I think, somewhere in there. And Freddie King in the 70s. It was like, it just, you got that. You got to grab some of Albert Collins in the late 70s into the 1980, I think. Oh man, there's so much stuff, but so little time, right? So, what else could I say, man? What else could I say? All right. Catch you next time.